Welcome back to this endless video series where I'm trying to reconstruct this 120 years old guitar. I'm Carlos Montoro and I'm going to be your host and also the most stubborn luthier in the world who is trying to make this possible. That is because I am not going to stop until I make something playable from all of this. So here I am and here I will be. No matter if the videos come sooner or later, this is going to have an end. Now what you are seeing me doing is trying to shape the side of the guitar to prepare it to be glued in place. For that you maybe already know the recipe: warmth, humidity and patience. And slowly I'm making my way and performing everything until I get comfortable with the result. Once I'm happy with the shape of the piece of the guitar, I just use tape to keep it in that shape, and then I just let it dry for a few hours. This jig that I made at the beginning of the project helps the guitar to stay in the shape while drying. I really love this thing. It's not helpful only for this guitar, but let's say that it could make also the job for small guitars. And it's becoming more helpful day by day. The guitar has been in the jig for a few days. Now the sides are in place, they have the correct shape, and now I can move on and start gluing the different columns in the sides. These two I made yesterday, so I can remove the clamps. So now I'd like to glue this one in here, but this little one has a little secret in it. Let me explain. This part of the kerfing goes like this, more or less, and check this out. The angle in the back is like almost 90 degrees. But this one here is not 90 degrees. I have to open. It is close to something like 97. So this proves that this side is flat, but this whole area here has a bow, and to match that bow the curving has to match step by step all the curvature that it makes from here to the end of the guitar. Now that the sides are getting in shape, it's time for me to start thinking about the binding, because I'd like to reuse the original one. But as a result of the accident, or just me removing it, the binding now is full of glue residue and it's brittle. So if I like to use this, I need to clean all the glue residue and make it malleable again. And I've been thinking about this problem for a long time, and finally I thought, well, the accident happened because the humidity chamber went to more than 19% level of humidity. So I thought that I could recreate that environment, and that way I could melt the glue residue to make it easy for clean. And actually it worked. This is another piece of binding. And as you can see, I don't need to do absolutely everything to separate the different parts. And it's also malleable, so I can reshape it to the actual form of the guitar. It's funny how you can find diamonds even in the worst incidents. Okay, so some time has passed, and as you can see now the binding in this side is in place. The difficult part of all this project is to develop the techniques that are going to be used during the process, and that is where most of the time is used. And this is a good example for that. The binding has to be glued spot on. It has to be flush with the side and with the top, because there is no later sanding that can be done to this. And that is why everything gets so difficult, because when you build a normal guitar, you place the binding with some excess and then you sand and everything is going to be flush and perfect. But this is just the opposite case. It has to be spot on right when you're gluing it. And to help you understand why this is so difficult, let's take a look at the inside. If we take a closer look in here, you can see the binding. This part here has the curving in place, because this was never been removed, but all the curving all around the guitar was removed. And if I place the curving as it should be done in when you're building a guitar, then the binding was not going to be flush. So in this case I had to start building from the roof and make my way down to the basement. But now that this side is done, I can show you the process with the other side. Now that I have the binding in place, let's say the lateral part of it, I would like to install the top part of the binding. But as you can see, if I press here, this is not flush at all. Also I had to remove the insert that I made in here. Maybe the hide glue that I made wasn't spot on, and it was started to deglue by itself, so I removed it to make it better next time. And in order to make this flush, I'm afraid that I have to remove this reinforcement here. My guess is that during the accident all these parts move a little bit down, so I have to remove them all and see if I can reglue everything in place. Here you can see how the first part of the binding is glued in place. The tape is applying force down, while the grippers apply the force in both sides. So you have to make your way up to the end of the binding. It took me a long time to realize which was the best way to do it, and now that I've developed the technique, well, it looks like it is actually very simple. Everything here is removed. I can place the top of the guitar anywhere I want. Let's see if I can start regluing this instead of making pieces of it.